Abby Johnson, abbyjohnson.com, of the book Unplanned. Listen, my wife loves this book, and she talked about something, Abby, to get a little serious here. She talks about your turning point. I don't want to give anything away for the listener, but you pinpointed it to a very specific moment, which I thought was pretty impactful. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So after working there for 8 years, I mean, I was the director, so I wasn't, in the room very often for medical procedures or anything like that. We had a visiting physician come in from out of town who was performing abortions at my facility. Abortion, Planned Parenthood's protocol and the National Abortion Federation, their protocol for abortion is that it be done in a blind manner. So they have a suction tube that's hooked up to the machine, and
Right.
they just blindly poke around inside the woman's uterus. Um, until they think they have enough tissue in a jar. So that was the way that I knew abortion to be performed day in and day out. But this doctor actually used an ultrasound at his own practice during the abortion so that he could see what was taking place inside the woman's womb, because shockingly enough, it is safer if a doctor can see what he's doing while he's performing surgery, right? So, but that was
I
something.
don't know that I agree with the premise, but continue.
So that was something I never really thought about before. So he said that, if time permitted, that he would have me come in so I could assist. My job during the abortion was to hold the ultrasound probe on the woman's abdomen so that he could see what was going on during the abortion. And I watched a 13-week-old baby fight and struggle for his life during that abortion procedure. And um, I knew then that I had been lied to. I knew that because of that, I had in turn lied to thousands of women who had come through my facility. I estimate that I helped to provide about 20,000 abortions during my time with Planned Parenthood. So I knew I had to get out. I knew I had to leave. And that was when I made the decision to quit.
How soon did that occur after that moment with the ultrasound?
I left about a week
Really?
later.
Okay. So it was. Sometimes people will go back and they go, "Oh, I had my sort of come to Jesus moment," and you realize, well, it didn't really happen. So this was literally within the week you were gone.
Yeah. And I didn't want to leave my job because I made a ton of money at
Oh,
Planned
sure.
Parenthood and all of my friends were there. So I didn't want to leave. I was trying really hard to make it okay in my mind, what I had seen.
Sure.
But after a week, I was just like, I can't do it. I can't make this right in my mind.
In 2009, Abby Johnson was director of the Planned Parenthood Clinic in Bryan, Texas. Then one day she quit. Not just quit, joined the Coalition for Life. Before long, she was protesting abortions right outside the very clinic she used to run.
For 8 years, Abby Johnson volunteered, worked, and eventually served as the director of a Planned Parenthood clinic in Texas. She believed she was helping women in crisis, until one day she witnessed an event that would cause her to cross the lifeline, challenge her values, and change the course of her life. Unplanned is Abby's personal account of her journey in the life versus rights debate.
Please welcome to the 700 Club the author of the book Unplanned, Abby Johnson. Great to have you here,
Thank you
Abby.
for having me.
Before we did, you as the director had the ability to step into any role within the clinic that you wanted or needed to, but you had something happen to you that really turned your mind around in this. That was, I believe, in August of 2009. Tell us about that.
Yes, it was in September of 2009.
September.
I was asked to assist in an ultrasound-guided abortion
And
procedure.
you'd never done that before?
No, I'd never done that before. As far as I know, we had never had an ultrasound-guided abortion procedure take place in our clinic because they're very rare.
What causes one to use an ultrasound-guided abortion?
We had a visiting abortionist come to our facility that day.
I see.
And those are the types of
That's the
procedures
method.
that he uses in his private practice facility.
So what happened?
Well, I was holding the probe on her abdomen so that we could visualize inside of the uterus, and I saw a 13-week-old baby in the womb. And what I saw during the abortion procedure was shocking, because I saw that baby begin to move and recoil and tried to flee from the abortion instruments. And that was something that I didn't believe would happen, because I had been told by Planned Parenthood for years, and I had then in turn told women when they had asked that their baby would not feel any pain, that there was no sensory development until 28 weeks, because that was what Planned Parenthood had told me. And I had believed that because I needed to believe it to continue to justify abortion and my work in abortion.
So when you saw that, what happened inside of you? Tell me what went on in your head and your heart.
I was shocked. I felt betrayed. I felt like I had been lied to by this organization that I believed in and had supported so strongly.
How did you get to the place where you decided to walk?
I knew that, you know, after seeing that abortion, I was going to have to make a decision. I knew I couldn't walk out of that room and continue to live the way I'd been living. I knew that that was going to have to be a turning point in my life. And I knew that ultimately the decision was going to have to be that I would leave Planned Parenthood.
So not only did you leave, but you went to work for the other side, sharing with people the significance of life and the truth of what you had seen. Planned Parenthood wasn't happy with that. Tell me what happened after that.
Yeah, I did contact the coalition. I needed help finding a job. I needed help sorting through my emotions, and they had always said they would help, and so I put them to the test, and they did help me tremendously. And but when Planned Parenthood found out about this, they took me to court, and they actually released my story to the media. And we did go to court, but you know, you can't sue somebody for being pro-life. And they had no grounds, and so the case was dismissed.
You say, Abby, that in fact the pro-choice, pro-life people have a lot more in common than any of us understand. What do you mean by that?
Well, they are both well-intentioned. And a lot of times we want to see the workers as the enemy. We want to see clinic workers as the enemy. But what we need to understand is that they are not the enemy. The sin of abortion is the enemy. And sometimes our anger and our hostility is misdirected. But their goal, a lot of times, is the same as ours. They want to help women just like we do. It's just that their goal is misdirected.
And that's the situation that Abby Johnson found herself in. What an amazing journey you have taken. It's all chronicled here in her book called Unplanned. This is available wherever books are sold, and it's a compelling story and also helpful, I think, in understanding people who may have a different perspective on abortion than a lot of us do. Thank you so much, Abby, for your candor and for being with us today. It's great to have you here.